Let there be peace and love. Welcome to Satsang. Satsang tries to speak about what the mind can't. The mind will never present something else than objects, feelings, understandings, sensing something. So in fact, to directly hear what is said in satsang, one has not to use his senses and mind. It is that which is always there, regardless of your states of mind or of body. It is that which cannot be the object of someone, because you are it. It doesn't need even a subject to be it. It's that which produces all this appearance, subjects, objects, and their relation. But one would mistake to identify it by something. So you are always that, everyone, every beings. Don't use your mind to search for it. But if you are occupied by thoughts and doubts and confusion, then paradoxically you have to ask to be cleared up, to just be reminded that, let's call it peace today, the peace that your own self can present cannot be the grip of your mind. It cannot be an attainment suggested by the mind. So in fact, if you can, one could simply keep quiet, means abide in yourself for a moment, not using anything, not wanting anything. Because to use something, to want, expect something, it's again the only language the mind can present, as it is dual, and so is totally unable to help you here. That's it. So the devotion, the attraction to hear about what cannot even be described, is the safest raft the devotion towards the Guru, means the one who removes darkness, is the best refuge. And once there, let one be guided, like it will be entering like in butter. So if there is still a doubt, which will be an impediment to simply stay at the refuge of your goal, search, tell it. It's just an illusory impediment. Good. No doubt? Wonderful. So what's missing now? If there is no doubt, what is the... Is there any problem?
Ganga.
Ah.
Yes, I don't know how to deal with the condition I have with the body. That is very difficult and painful. And how do I deal? I know it's the body and the mind, but still it's dominating the whole life.
Oh, you are here. So
Yes.
if you don't bring this trouble here, it will not dominate all your life. You need a few gaps. Offer yourself a few gaps, like now. Like now, you see? That's my suggestion. And in a natural way, you have to take care of that with your body-mind as much as you can. But the best is to give you moments of not touching the trouble, like now. So don't go to the trouble. And if you see that you go to that movement, remember you are here to realize yourself. Focus on what you cannot focus on, but at least don't focus on what you know. Because you see, the realization of the self is just a question of being obsessed, preoccupied, but not by the body and the mind, but by desiring to realize yourself. So it needs also some time dedicated to that. And you see, if you have a husband and a lover, in case, when you are with the husband, you are with whom, in fact? Maybe it's not your case, you cannot answer. Sorry. But I guess it must be with the lover in your heart. Even you pretend to be the best wife to your husband. So be like this with this body-mind. Okay, I'm preoccupied, I'm trying to, whatever is needed for you, but my love is somewhere else. Do like the gopis. That's what they were doing. During the day they were the perfect wives, but during the night means perfect wife, but not in their heart. They were cooking, thinking of Krishna, so burning the milk because, not perfect wives, in fact, because they were thinking too much of Krishna. They forgot the milk, but still, the husband had the chai, as it were, wanting. They were always. Funny, huh? But it's like that. It's like that. Ah, you like it?
Yeah, very much. Ganga, I have a problem now.
Not with your wife, huh?
It's a fixed attention, because you said that my wife has maybe a lover, another one. How can I deal with it?
Love the same one.
What I experience on the moment is when I keep quiet, I come all the words from the satsang, all the time. I hear it. And is that also the tyranny of the mind, or is it?
If you really hear them, where do you go?
Yeah, I want to go.
So don't collect them, just hear.
Yeah, I
Hear them and go where they bring you.
I hear all the time the words.
No, they are not words. They are directions.
Yeah, direction.
So the first you hear, you go where it leads you. And keep quiet there. We don't need many words, one will be enough. But of course, before that one hears so many words. One has to be struck by one direction. One is enough. Or one look, it's one look, one, they say in the tradition, it's not only with words, it can be between words, it can be anything will be used to remove the concept of a seeker.
And one word that struck me the 3 days ago was there's no escape from love.
But some suffer because of that. It depends where the love is directed to. You understood in the right way then, because you smiled, must be. The world is just taken by love, but it's objective love. It doesn't help them. So, yes, I understand what you say. No escape. Anyway, you are yourself, there is no escape about that. Really. One tries to escape with the mind or the body. They are a temporary accomplishment with the mind and the body only. You see, one must love to just be freed from the mind, from preoccupations. One should love not to be preoccupied. The mind gives preoccupations, the body gives. One is not used to just be naturally without preoccupation. So, it's because I, as the one who was preoccupied, this body-mind, doesn't feel comfortable without preoccupation, because he's left with a state he loves to is bulimic with experiences. This I. So, if he has too fast, he's not happy. But it's a wonderful direction, because if at all I get for a moment just alone, then you could wonder, but who is aware of this? Of what, after all? Who is aware of this I alone, and before it was I preoccupied, and it's again an object. So it's no use to be busy with objects, you just keep quiet. And then I want to see if I remains. It's true that when I investigate and whatever he finds, wherever he locates himself, he has this tool to say, I'm not that, I'm not this. This is a real part of detachment in a way. You see, I'm not this. If there is a desire for liberation to just be real, what's real, or to then I is undergoing detachment. But it's not to achieve a state of detachment. It's just a passing. It looks, I don't know how to say, indispensable. Indispensable, how do you translate?
Essential.
An essential, essential.
Necessary.
Most necessary state but to help to pass through, not to listen to the mind. The goal is not detachment or desirelessness. But you have to pass through, not to hook yourself at something, so that this I, body, mind, has no more any meaning. Where does he land? He can feed himself on what? Then if he has the desire for freedom, he will just surrender. Ooh. Chai, 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 chai. Not the station in India. Chai. Chloe, you are yawning. You are yawning.
Bye.
If you don't have another cup, there is too much for me. Who wants? There is at least for two. Okay. So, you get clearer of what you really love or want.
Yeah.
Lucky.
I hope.
If you give this much to the mind, it will take you. Yes, no doubt about it. Don't give a chance. Don't give a chance to the mind. Hope, horrible. Mind has to be hopeless. Hopeless. Huh? But you are not the mind. You are not the mind. Yes, what a luck.
Ganga,
Jyoti.
the direction that you give is very. What we discussed this is very simple, and
Yeah, nobody understands. It's very simple.
okay.
Yes.
It's also hard to formulate now.
Okay, doesn't matter.
And if I go there, then there's nothing for my mind. There is nothing.
It's a bad start.
bad start.
If I go there.
I don't know how to express.
No. You tell more. Okay, if I go there.
Okay, so there will. So a fear comes that there is nothing there, nothing that.
Because there is a if. You never went there if there is a if. You see? There is a fear because you have not left the duality. You are, let's say it's like a coin. The mind is like a coin. You have known all what was moving and apparent and all that manifestation. But you see, you have access to the unmanifested, okay? Still the mind. Because it's linked to the manifestation. Your experience, if I go, so means sometimes, when I go. So you are playing with the full coin, I agree. Generally one knows only one part of it. The seekers has access to the other part also. You see, where he really knows I am. I know that this is true. I know myself, he says, I am, in the I amness. Still it is the first rising. So I'm very happy that you discovered now the totality of this manifestation, which is not only manifestation, it's also unmanifestation. Yeah? You are ready to not to pick up if? You see, you are always yourself, and sometimes it will appear like unmanifested. Sometimes it will appear as manifested, but I am always myself. So, doesn't matter. Don't be deluded by what appears, even when it's to go back there. To go back there is, of course, let's say the deepest layer of this existence, consciousness. I call the cosmic mind or whatever, cosmic I, which is not more personal I, is the all, but still mind. And you cannot avoid the sometimes in the mind. And this is the drama of the seeker if he thinks that place is real. But you can hear now. You can hear. Yeah? And in fact, it's a blessing to know the unmanifested, because otherwise you will never hear this.
You were just saying in the introduction that the Guru dispels the darkness.
Yeah.
And for me this is, at the moment of the last weeks, I have felt it very concretely, that somehow the darkness that has been there for so long,
Yeah.
not maybe millions of years.
Because you caught the feet of your Guru. Yeah, lucky. Then you see you are safe, sooner or later. Yeah, what a blessing. Great. Without the Guru, you cannot make it. You cannot make it. Maybe 1 in 1,000 years would have a different experience, but generally speaking, we are in the general speaking, otherwise we would not come to satsang. One cannot make it.
When I'm with kids, like now, then I'm very easily identified and also in a pressure that I think I have to do this and this and this, and then I lose myself, and then I'm very exhausted. But really I don't know how to deal with this. Just to
Cannot
be.
deal with that. It's like that.
Huh?
It's like that. You cannot deal with that.
It's like that.
It's like that.
Yeah. I see it by others also. Yes.
And if it is not like this, means you don't take care of your kids. So Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
It will not be an hindrance.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes. Okay.
I tell you, it's not easier for those who go to caves to have so much time to meditate. It's not easier. So,
Okay.
who cares about circumstances? It's not an excuse. Yeah?
Yes.
Wonderful. And sometimes not having time, but wanting so much to have time for this, you see, gives more fire.
But the last sentence,
It gives more fire.
gives more fire.
Yeah. The urgency can show up quicker, eventually. I tell you, living near your guru is not always quiet. With master, I remember those who really lived near, they had to cook, they had to do this, they had to do that, and yet, what a blessing, what a luck to have been busy at the proper place, of course. But the place is in your heart, you see. So, if you are at the feet of your guru, you have his company. He has to take care of you. It's like that. Deep thinking?
No, not thinking.
Nothing. You
Opposite.
don't think.
Opposite, yeah.
You don't think.
Yeah.
So your face is still the past habit.
Maybe.
Yeah. Now it's getting better. Okay, that's why I ask. It's very good. No thinking.
Yeah, you are like a knife. I mean, it's just a metaphor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cutting away
The branches, but I have to cut the root, huh?
Yeah.
Is there a root? If you don't think, is there a root? Don't think. Is there a root? That's much better. You call me? Yeah, tell me.
Every sentence now I will tell you, I feel like I don't want to go there, and yet I feel I have to tell you this because there is. Sometimes I feel like I'm not compromise, like I'm not like this enough, you know.
Uncompromising.
Yeah, because what you told me, like if it's not here now, it's not it, and yet sometimes when there is, like when you said unmanifested, I stop there and I start to be fast. I start to look because it's so. Finally, some relief is there, and I look at the relief.
Yes, sure,
somehow.
sure. Yes, yes. And then, are you aware of that at some point? Are you aware of that? Otherwise, you would not speak to me about that. You must be aware that you do that at some point. So why you give the emphasis to what happened? The moment you are aware of it, you are freed from it. Otherwise, it means you want to change that. You cannot change this manifestation. What does it mean? Otherwise, you see, it would not even appear at all. So it's of course this person will go here and there all the time. That's what is done, no? Up to the end. But what's real? That moment you are aware of it, why do you put yourself in time? That awareness that you are is out of time. That is essential. Don't care about time. How much time I spent there, how much time. Don't be an accounter. The bill will be very... Give me the bill. Doesn't matter. Time, illusion. 10 years, 10 minutes, 1 minute too much in time. I have seen it. Illusion. I was never, you lied then, I was never identified. You have to use your wisdom. Otherwise you use again the language of the mind and you don't honor who you are. Use your wisdom. What does it mean, you see? If you are a split second wise, if you are 10 years wise, it doesn't... I mean, it has no meaning. Some people have, okay, I was only 20 when I realized, now I'm 85, what a big deal. Must be better than the one who is just, No. this wisdom will not appear in this manifestation. I mean, there will be no spatial state wiser than another. It looks like. Who you really are, you see, is unaffected ever by what's unreal, though it appears. So have that strongly rooted in you, that background of wisdom of what you hear again and again in satsang. Let it not waver by the talk of the mind. Okay. One would like so much to be like in the images, huh? What to do? Sometimes, yes, it happens, but it's bound to time. Let's not be bound by time. That's your nature. You see those images, it's like satsang. It's just to remind you to consider that maybe there is something else than the world of objects. It's a teaching. It's to remind. It doesn't mean this is it, this way. Shanti! Fine. What's the name, huh?
I was quiet before you start with the coin.
Why?
So one always lives in this coin.
I mean,
moving
if you
from one
consider
side to
the
another
life,
side or whatever.
if you consider the life and the life of a seeker, especially,
Even when I don't, when I don't touch, or for example, now on this day that I was, let's say, feeling more in the heart, not so much in the mind, very little in the mind. It looks like also this is in one of the sides of the coin. In one of the sides.
because
of
you have the
coin.
doubt now. Okay, if you went to the other side, tell me if this coin in fact is real.
That was my main doubt.
It cannot be real. If it can present once sometimes this way, sometimes that way, isn't it?
But all this happened to somebody.
All what?
All this
Yeah.
happened to somebody.
Yeah. Sure, there is no coin if there is no somebody who keeps it. Right. Now we come to this. Yes. So why you? Have you go to your mind to answer this question? Have you go to? Do you need to go to any state to answer this question? Who am I? Who are you?
There, and that moment is when the doubt comes. The doubt, if I don't go again to this side of the coin.
But you see, what you are is here now, even with your doubt. Its being there doesn't depend if we have a doubt or not. That's what I say. It's always there. So don't think that it will appear in a certain way more real than another. It will always appear in a certain way as long as this is alive, body-mind. There is not a moment it doesn't appear. So that split second I speak about, I don't know what it is, but there is a moment of realization or click. I'm not this coin. I'm not, even when I'm in the absolute, in the unmanifested, it's not even that. But then what stays? If you can't speak about that, what stays? This is what you are. And it has no special shape. It has all the shapes. As long as you have this idea that you will experience it in a certain way, which is surely not the way of the daily life, you will be deluded. It doesn't look like anything. But at least it's always there. I don't know how to describe better. Can you describe better? from the... No, tell me something nice. Tell me something nice in Sanskrit. I love this language. Ali, I'm ready to.
Sanskrit.
Yeah. It must be it must be beautiful. Wait, you will listen.
Well,
Anything we don't understand.
so, Shrotrasya, Shrattuhu, Chakshuhu, no, what is that? Is it fingering? No, I don't remember all the sentence, but the ear of the ear, the eye of the eye.
Not louder, it's nice.
The ear of the ear,
Yeah.
the eye of the eye,
Mm-hmm.
the mind of the mind.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you are.
See? The ear of the ear, the eye of the eye, the mind of the mind, that's what you are. Now you understood better. It means exactly the same than what I told you. So conclusion, stop thinking about it.
Another one.
Another one.
This is
Tell a bit louder.
Alukta Drke, which means the one who sees without eyebrows.
That's beautiful. Yes. Well, some we can maybe give them some. Welcome to Satsang. So satsang is to remind you or to give you a new attraction in this busy mind. It's to know yourself. I want to know myself, my real self, because one thinks is whatever it's experiencing with the body, whatever it thinks. But in fact, these are appearances, means it goes on changing, even with the growth, all this goes on changing. But what is watching all this? What is, in fact, you have not yet the experience maybe, but that if you are young or old, it's always the same I, but not an I which is glued to body-mind, which goes on changing with the growth. what is this I am? I always mention even. And in satsang, it is said that I is awareness itself, is what you really are when you don't hook at your mind and body, you will realize it. And that is the end of misery, to always be in pleasures and then in pain. So it's very precious. Welcome, the devotee is welcome. So I was speaking of what doesn't move. Oh la la, he's very happy to have many devotees. Anyway. So let's close the eyes. And you can see that your mind goes to this little blacky fellow who is very excited. So what you are is not that doggy. It is not that doggy. So I is different than the object I imagine or see or experience. And here is a great question given in satsang, but who am I? And the answer to this question will never be with the body or with the mind. That question leaves the body-mind behind, and where you are left, this is the background of everything. This is what you are. I am that. To dedicate just a moment to that is already very precious. This is a bit. You have been a big moo. So, is there any prasad? Oh la la. Arun, you cannot have them with. Shiva, and she's there? Come. No, you bring her. You. Wow. Anybody else? No? don't think that because we have been distracted that you lost yourself. My master used a nice, we come near lunch, maybe because of that I think of it, a nice image. He said, why to make a sandwich with first the world, then the self sometimes, and then again the world, the mind? Why not to make a sandwich with the self, the mind, and the self? Huh? Question of liking. So I wish you a great sandwich.
I have still a question.
Sure.
I'm aware of many things.
But don't touch your wife.
Okay.
Be alone while
Yes.
asking the question. Okay.
I'm aware
Yeah.
that I'm speaking now, I'm thinking, and you know that I'm really analytic also, but I'm aware that okay, now I do this, and I'm what is aware of this.
Okay.
Is it that?
Don't doubt about it.
Yes. Okay.
Because when you ask, is it that?
Yes.
Where do you go?
To the eye.
Yes. So why?
Thank you.
And you cannot help, as I say, to go to the mind, but then you know what it is. You know what's going on. You will not confuse yourself for it. And when there is an experience of confusion, you also know that is, I am aware of that too,
Yes.
as I am aware of my sleep, as I am aware of whatever happens. That's always there.
So the awareness needs no sleep.
Needs no sleep, it doesn't need anything.
Yeah, it doesn't need anything.
It's just watching or not watching.
Yeah.
You know, the awareness is also the function of the self, so don't think that you have always to be aware of. Sometimes just... You see, when one is identified, for example, he let his mind talk. Oh, I've been identified. That's what I said previously. It's better to have this Purusha sandwich than you use the not the McDonald's. So you use the language. You know that the language of the mind is relative. It is bound because of this duality, otherwise it would not appear. So it's your right to use your for yourself, not in relations. Be clever, intelligent, but for yourself, it's your right to use the self language, the language of the self. But when you are in relation, don't use it, please. It will be arrogance then. One has to know. Oh, I slap you. Oh, there is nobody there. No, don't use that language. I mean, yeah, but people do. So one remains totally as ordinary as absolutely not ordinary. It's a paradox in appearance at least. And who will translate when you are not there? You have nothing to say maybe anymore.
Yesterday I told that there's a real problem with me.
Ah, and you don't keep quiet, but you shut up. Why? What is the problem? Tell me.
Ismétlődően fölmerül bennem.
Repetitively appears in me.
What?
Vagy egyszerűen
I didn't hear.
Repetitively
Yeah.
appears in me.
így semminek ne higgyek magamba.
To not believe in anything in me.
Yes. Then what's the problem?
Mondtad, hogy még őrültnek se kell lenni.
You told just before, right? Then I don't even have to be aware.
I don't know. No, I remove that sentence here.
Ez a magas fokú éberség a lényegnek.
This high quality awareness is the
Let's not
essence,
speak of
yeah.
awareness.
not
You don't know what is awareness. Why should we speak of awareness? I like before what you said. Yeah, whatever is happening to you, it's not it. And then we see. Chew that for a little more. Let us see where you arrive. You will not be the same guy after 3 days of chewing that. So don't escape and sleep with a big awareness now. No, you chew this one. Okay? Okay or not okay? It's like this. Thank you very much.